Well-Trained Mind Press presents The Lion of St. Mark, written by G.A. Henty, read by Jim Weiss.
Preface. Of all the chapters of history, there are few more interesting or wonderful than that which tells the story of the rise and progress of Venice. Built upon a few sandy islands in a shallow lagoon, and originally founded by fugitives from the mainland, Venice became one of the greatest and most respected powers of Europe. She was mistress of the sea, conquered and ruled over a considerable territory bordering on the Adriatic, checked the rising power of the Turks, conquered Constantinople, successfully defied all the attacks of her jealous rivals to shake her power, and carried on a trade relatively as great as England in the present day. I have laid my story in the time not of the triumphs of Venice, but of her hardest struggle for existence, when she defended herself successfully against the coalition of Hungary, Padua, and Genoa. For never at any time were the virtues of Venice, her steadfastness, her patriotism, and her willingness to make all sacrifice for her independence, more brilliantly shown. The historical portion of the story is drawn from Hazlitt's History of the Republic of Venice, and with it I have woven the adventures of an English boy, endowed with a full share of that energy and pluck which, more than any other qualities, have made the British Empire the greatest the world has ever seen. G.A. Henty. Chapter 1. Venice. I suppose you never have such nights as these in that misty island of yours, Francisco? Yes, we have, the other said stoutly. I have seen just as bright nights on the Thames, and watched the reflection of the moon on the water, and the lights of the houses on the bridge, and the passing boats, just as we are doing now. But I must confess that we do not have such still, bright nights very often, while with you they are the rule. But you like this better than England? You are glad that your father came out here? Francis Hammond did not answer at once. I am glad he came out, for I have seen many things I should never have seen if I had stayed at home, and I have learned to speak your tongue. But I do not know that I like it better than home. Things are different, you see. There was more fun at home. My father had 2 or 3 apprentices whom I used to play with when the shop was closed, and there were often what you would call tumults, but which were not serious. Sometimes there would be a fight between the apprentices of one ward and another, and all the apprentices would catch up their sticks and pour out of the shops. And then there would be a fight till the city guard turned out and separated them. Then there used to be the shows and the May Day revels and all sorts of things. The people were more merry than you are here, and much more free. You see, the barons, who are the same to us that your great families are to you, had no influence in the city. You are a nation of traders, and so are we. But in London, the traders have the power, and are absolute masters inside their own walls, caring nothing for the barons and not much for the king. If anyone did wrong, he got an open and fair trial. There was no fear of secret accusations. Everyone thought and said as he pleased. There was no Council of 10. "Hush, Francisco," the other said, grasping his arm. "Do not say a word against the council. There is no saying who may be listening." And he looked nervously round to see if anyone was within earshot. "There it is, you see," his companion said. "So long as we have a safe conscience, in London we are frightened at nothing, whereas here no one can say with certainty that he may not, before tomorrow morning, be lying in the dungeons of St. Mark, without the slightest idea in the world as to what his crime has been." There, Francisco," Matteo said uneasily. "Do talk about other things. Your notions may do very well in England, but are not safe to discuss here. But one cannot have everything, and after all, when one has so much to be proud of, one need not grumble because everything is not just as one would like." "Yes, you have much to be proud of. It is marvelous that the people of these scattered islets should be masters of the sea, that their alliance—"
Sample complete. Ready to continue?